So today's topic is traffic in London. Okay, I had a nightmare journey yesterday. We're coming back from Bob Regis, and my dad wanted to pick up a bike at a shop at 6 o'clock. And it's about 3 hour journey. I know my dad drives very, very slowly. Google says it's 2.5 hours, but he wanted to leave a bit longer than 2.5 hours. I was originally thinking that I'd stay from two till 3, and we can go and meet my sister for an hour. And I was planning on doing that. And my dad, just at last minute, at about 1 o'clock, was just like, no, no, we're going now. And just, I don't know, it's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? There's very little communication in my family. People just do whatever they want, and they don't think to plan or tell other people what he's the driver. He kind of has to make the decisions, because I can only see Sophie with the car. And I did tell him earlier that I think we should go and eat in Harvesters, and he just kind of grunts. He doesn't really talk. I think it's an autistic thing that he has, where you try and talk to him and he just grunts at you, and you think that he's agreed to something when really he hasn't. So it's a very annoying thing that he does. But yeah, anyway, we left at 1 o'clock, so very early. We had 5 hours to go get this to get to London and go get this bike. We stopped off for a meal. The meal that was like £18, so they just had a starter, and well, I didn't like peppered mushrooms or prawns, or just, I don't know. It didn't look very good. So I was going to wait until we got to London. But yeah, on the way, there was this stretch of road that was like one of these you can't get off. So once it was just like almost like the A3. It's almost like a motorway, but it's not a motorway. And then there's this massive, I don't know what it was. It was a crash, and we were literally stuck in a car, not moving for about 2 hours. And then it started the traffic started moving. We were literally only about a mile away from the accident. Um, but yeah, we had just gone past the last exit. There was about probably a 2 mile stretch, and we were sort of at the beginning of this 2 mile stretch. um, the car just wasn't moving, and it's just so frustrating. With all the police services that you've got, it felt ridiculous how there wasn't some police force saying, you know what, let's go to where the last point is. These cars are obviously going to be here for a very long time. Let's go to the most recent exit and stop the traffic from going down this road, and start turning people at the back of the queue around. Cut off the road, end it, and then just clear the road. To sit in a car, the traffic started around 4:30, and we were saying that we were still 40 minutes away from picking this bike up. So 4:30, 5:30, we would have got, probably by the time we parked the car or whatever, we would have got to the shop about 5:30, which would have been fine. But no, 5:30, we'd literally just moved a couple of meters. 6:30, we'd still only moved a couple of cars forwards. And I don't know what happened. They closed the road off, and they just left. Like, we felt like a rat in a sort of stuck in a sewer pipe or something, and we couldn't get out. And yeah, people were sitting on top of their cars for the last. I don't understand. Like, if you think about I was looking at everyone in this sort of this mess. There's kids going to school, because it would have been around 4:30, so it would have just been people being dropped off home, or maybe they'll coming back from a trip or something. They're going to be 3 hours later. There's business people who look like they were on phones, getting told off by their boss for not being at a certain meeting or something. Just the amount of damage something like this caused. To delay everyone's journey by 3 hours because the police service are too busy. I don't know what they're doing, paperwork or documents or whatever. It would have been such an easy thing just to find, okay, well, here's the past exit. Let's just start, getting the cars at the back of the queue to do a U-turn and get them out of this road. That would have cleared the road within about half an hour. As soon as they realized that the road was closed, I don't know what it was. By the time it took so long getting to where the crash was, that by the time we got to the crash, all we saw was a bike. There was a motorbike, and that was it. And I was like, well, all this hassle, making probably 1,000 people wait. I don't know how many people there were waiting in this queue. It was a very long queue, but to make 1,000 people wait just because of a motorbike, well, it might have been a case of the motorcyclist maybe died or something. I didn't see blue tape or anything. But yeah, I think it's terrible how there's so many solutions, or it makes you just look at all these barriers and just think, why can't they design the roads so that if something like this happens, that there is actually like a mini escape route of getting cars out, to keep people waiting for 3 hours. And it just felt like, there's no apology, no nothing, it just makes you wonder, what were they doing for 3 hours? Like, I know they were probably taking pictures of the scene or something, but surely you could have spared one or two policemen just to stop the road and just start taking people from the back of the queue. Because yeah, we weren't at the back, but we were very close to the back. I think if they would have just blocked the road and taken people from the back, we would have been out in about 20 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe even less. It does. How long does it take to turn 100 cars around? I don't know how many cars. There was a lot of cars. There was a lot of cars there. It could have easily been more than 2,000. I don't know, but a lot of people would have had that been in that same position that we were in, and it's what is wrong with road systems that you wouldn't do something like that.